I want to address something real quick. Let's see here. This looks good. It's hard for me to not be this type of person, but I own a lot of tools. I own too many tools. And I guess the reason I like collecting so many old tools is because I tell myself the lie that everyone tells themselves was they're preserving something. But not me though. I don't have a real reason to explain. I just dropped this really nice lid to my Norton. I don't really have a reason to explain why I own two different types of Stanley planes. This is like a late, type era Stanley with nice rosewood and all of that. And this is a type 8 Stanley, so 1920s era. Might be 1900s. It doesn't have the casting on it's kind of simple. It doesn't have that lateral adjustment that these later Stanleys have, so that you can. It's weird. They had this premium line of Stanley hand planes that they made, and they had they added this feature right here, which is there's a screw right back here. That is one of the nice things about this plane. And lets you move the frog back and forth without having to turn these screws here to adjust it, because it's very finicky when you have to actually adjust them. And I like using the Type 8. I don't know why I like using the Type 8. I think it might just be the knob. I really like that grip style. I never hated using my Stanley. Actually, I kind of like the knob on this one, but really it was the fact that I got myself a new Hawk iron for this one. It's funny, these two planes stand in stark contrast to each other. One is in its age, but the iron is updated. The other is in its age, but the iron is the same. The iron's actually pretty good. So I just think that it's just a funny occurrence, because you get wrapped up in all of these types of debates. Everyone's like, oh, Lee Nielsen, Stanley, thick irons versus thin irons. And I gotta say, I don't really believe in any of that. I just believe that whatever tool you can get your hands on, it's the one you're going to use. I paid $40 for this one, and I paid, I think, $35 for this guy right here. And I was very happy to pay the price for each of them. You know how much I paid for this guy right here? This is my Sargent transitional scrub plane. I paid like $5 for this one. I mean, maybe $10. And I use this for scrubbing material. It's really comfortable. But the quality of the steel, the quality of the iron, they're all going to be the same. There might be some slight variations given history of the era that it came from. But I've been using the Hawk iron long enough that I kind of have a good idea of thin versus thick or whatever. The only thing that's changed for me in relation to my woodworking in terms of opinions on what's good and what isn't is that I have this sharpened at 30 degrees. The bed angle is on 30, and I think that works. This one's sharpened at 25, and I had some purple heart that I was working on that I just could not cut with the 25 degree bevel, and I had just sharpened it, and I was like, dude, like, what the heck is going on here? And kind of came to the realization that my angle of attack had to change. That I was insufficiently thinking about how I sharpened my tools, and that if I wanted to make my woodworking work, I had to really think about how I tackle certain things, and that's the fun part about woodworking or any hobby in general. Is that no matter what, you are kind of subject to a new experience every time. Like, you're always going to be at the whims of your teacher, which is wisdom and experience. And I guess this to say that if you're going to think, hey, you should really get X tier plane iron because it's thicker and it's better, and you should get the age because older is better. It doesn't really matter. These newer Stanleys are, like the newer types, are much easier to use. They're much more user friendly. And if you're gonna think of, me as a woodworker, what is worth my time? Everyone's gonna say, oh, get these thick irons because like the steel quality is so much better. I would stick with if you can find it in a Stanley iron in good condition, like you've got so much life left in the tool, I'd stay with that. I would. There's just no way you can go wrong. There's nothing bad about it. You're never going to be disappointed. Like, it's just a consistent, you're always going to be happy with it, I think. Besides, what sets a tool apart is how it's sharpened. And as you can see right here, I'm doing just that. If I can get this out of the way. And sorry, my dog is trying to explore every part of the shed here while I work on this. Hey, buddy. Oh, there we go. That was good. Yeah, that's good. Hey, buddy, get out of there. Out. Out. Hey, Astro. Astro. Come on. This way. He was getting into where all the sharp tools are. To summarize, if you're going to be in a position where you have one choice over the other, I think for efficiency's sake, get what's cheapest and affordable to you. Like this plane is like a number 3 size in terms of like Stanley sizes. Its iron is a little thinner for getting work done. It's like a I don't know, like a 1/4 inch difference between this and this one, like these two here. But like I'm able to do a lot more work with this iron right here, and I'm always happy with it. I'm just never disappointed. So it really is about how you're able to adapt. And with these, I think you can actually get a hot iron replacement that's this size. So like your options for woodworking are pretty good. The only downside to this one is I don't have a lateral adjuster. It's snapped off of here. Someone must have dropped it. Before I got it, it wasn't there. I was like, oh, whatever. But woodworking and really tool collecting, hobbying in general, is about building experience. Like the reason I bought these 2 planes was because the story was going to be different with this one, this older one, and I wanted to learn like what was it like to have one of these when they didn't make improvements to the design. Like these improvements were made at a much later date. You know, this back iron or this frog adjuster screw right here, and all of that. So like, you know, like what was I gonna get out of that experience? And I learned a lot. And I actually still I like using this one a little bit more, just slightly. You know, I've got no problems with it whatsoever. And I think we're good to sharpen up our other iron. And it's going to take a little bit, so I'm going to turn off the camera and listen to some music. But, to summarize. Use the tool that you have.